Chiggy, check, check. Speaking at a loud volume. Hello, I'm Michael, aka Kaitoon. This is a production breakdown. This is the first production breakdown I've done in about 5 years. Things have upgraded. I'm upgraded. Got multiple screens. There's a laptop here. Normally, where the camera is, that's another screen. That's more screens than your. I'm here to talk about how I made my cover of Take On Me by a-ha. Haven't really prepared at all. Might be a little bumpy. I'm just gonna get into this and talk you through what I'm doing here, the production behind it. I got a crispy boy here, which is about empty. So I'm gonna crush that. And good news, I've got another crispy boy ready to go. So I'm gonna get nice and crispy. I've always loved this song. When I was a kid, my mom was, for some reason, saying no good music came out of the 80s. Literally none. The first thing that came out of my mouth, for some reason, was, "Mom, what about a-ha, that song Take On Me?" And she was like, ugh. She's like, "Are you serious?" And so that made me feel kind of guilty about liking that song for a long time. I think it's just objectively a terrific song. It didn't dawn on me until I heard the MTV Unplugged version. It's an acoustic version that the band did between 5 and 10 years ago. It's the same composition, but just in a completely different style, obviously. And it's so beautiful. For that song to transcend those radically different genres so well, it's just a good song. That's the hallmark of a good song. And I'm only interested in covering good songs. So the song was eligible for my touch. There's a little background into why I decided to do this. Without further ado, let's crack this puppy open. So first thing you may notice, I'm in FL Studio. I use FL Studio. I've always used it. I've used FL Studio since I was 12 years old. So I like it. And you would think after using that long, my projects might look a little more organized than this, but you'd be wrong. I'm just a mess. This is actually a lot neater than it was before I decided to do this video. I've broken up the stems of it into vocals, drums, bass, guitar, synths, and I just put all the synths in one category, and then flutes, which is actually still synths, but it's a flute synth. I gave it its own track for some reason. It's a special little flute. I can't wait to talk about this fucking flute that I did. Let's just listen to a little bit of it. All right, let me break down what's going on here right at the top. So the drums for this song, they're all loops. I have this loop pack from a guy named Jake Reed. You may have seen his Instagram ads if you do music. Jake Reed Super Dead Drums. Great drum sample pack if you're into production and you like super dead drums. That's literally what it's called. Dead as fuck. These are fucking dead, bro. Skull emoji drums. I've used drums from these sample packs many a time. They're featured pretty heavily in my latest album, Heartbreak Simulator. Maybe you've heard of it. If not, that's fine. Yeah, I took this drum loop, I sped it up, it looks like. This drum loop was originally recorded at 118 BPM. I crunched it to 160. I did probably a little processing on it. Yeah, actually not much at all. It just goes to this bus. I kind of just grabbed him and threw him on there because this is not a Kaitoon original. It doesn't get all the works. It gets drum loops off the shelf. And you know what? I don't think it's worse off for it because Jake Reed knows how to spank it. So they just plugged in really nicely. We established this silky bass line here. I really like a simple bass patch, felt right. I wanted someone with a little grit, but still pretty soft, pretty milky. I've got two little synth patches backing up the bass here. I guess that's doing the lead. This thing is just following the bass along. I rendered it. You're seeing a waveform because the synth I used to produce this sound does not play nice with FL Studio. It's nothing crazy. It's just like a saw. A plucky saw. I love plucky shit with a little phase on it, a little warp and little shifting phase. I wanted to establish this iconic melody right off the bat because for me this melody has always been my favorite part of the song, like my favorite thing about this song. I'm not going to say it's the vocals or the lyrics or the chord progression. It's this melody. This melody gets me broiling. So I wanted to, unlike the original song, I wanted to get straight into the good shit. And so I got this clean guitar, getting a little extra juice from this Omnisphere patch, or 2 Omnisphere patches. What? This one's doing pretty much nothing, and I don't really have like a sophisticated reason for that. I think I just was trying different things and left this in here. But this is the one that I like. That was this patch. I have nothing else to say about it. It's a patch I liked, I picked it. That's the good thing about Omnisphere. You don't have to tinker with it too much if you don't want to. There's so much good shit ready to go. Let's proceed. Let's look at this. This is some classic Kytoon stuff here. I love synths that kinda have a little vocal pharyngeal twist to them. The human voice, there's something pretty potent about that. Any human being is gonna have a reaction to something that sounds like a human voice. I don't know. I can't really explain it. I'm trying to like really understand it. I just like it. I just like voice sounding stuff. I like to pepper it in there. We kind of roll into this shit. There's a lot going on here. I'm doing some like harmonic stuff. These 2 patches are kind of, they're kind of playing together. They're kind of doing a thing, harmonizing, if you will. This one's some saw that I've got an envelope on that's opening up. Or no, actually, I think I just have, yeah, I'm bringing the volume up. It's coming in, we're swelling up into the verse. This is some string patch. I never use string patches either. I'm doing stuff that I don't normally do for this remix. Some strings panned hard right here. I mean, almost all the way. That's a thing that's probably worth acknowledging. A little mix tip, you know. Don't be afraid to pan hard left, hard right. Don't be afraid to pan. It feels scary sometimes to pan. But you gotta never lose sight of the sum of the concoction. As a producer, if you like what you're doing or you get really excited, you got an instrument or an element or a synth that you really, really like and you feel like it needs to be front and center so everyone can hear it. You might feel that way about like everything, and everything can't be center, because if you do that, then it all gets muddled. If you're mixing for stereo, which is like what you're going to be doing, you only got so much, you know, acoustic real estate to work with. You gotta use all of it. You want to make sure you're putting something, designating a sound for every, you know, degree of audible bullshit. What the fuck do you call that? Just try panning. It's pretty cool. Oh, I love this vocal. This is the funniest shit to me. That like male, like vibrato vocal lead thing. It's classical tenor ah. It's way sillier than I would normally go, but I really liked it. Just like this comically grand, like operatic intro to the song. We're launching straight into it. I want you to get pumped. We got this guy here and he's bellowing in joy and excitement, and he's stimulated. And I want you to get stimulated. What the fuck is this? It's like a what kind of wave is this? It's a square. I feel like this is like a sort of timbre of square that you just don't hear very often. It's very video gamey. It's so nostalgic. I don't even know what I would say it's from. Just another like radically different sort of synth timbre here to build out this big sandwich of noise. And then we got, to add a little bit of dissonance in the mix, we got this, I don't even know what's going on. Okay, so I added this iZotope plugin to it. This is what's warping it. You literally got the warp parameter here as if it's an old fucked up vinyl that's literally physically warped. There's this wear parameter here, which just takes some of the top end off and adds a bit of this like dirt to it. You know, I like throwing dirt on my tunes. That concludes my overview of this big synth sandwich that takes us into the first verse. Talking away, I don't know what I'm gonna say, you'll say it anyway. Obviously, I sung this kind of sleepily. This is, already comped, meaning like this is the compilation of the many takes that I did. I mean, I always do like 10 takes on average. I don't remember how many I did, but I probably did at least 10. And I took the best phrases from each of those 10 takes and pulled it into one here. If you're new to producing, maybe you're not even new to singing, but you're new to like recording your voice or having your voice recorded, like you got a lot of leeway. I didn't nail this in one take is all I'm saying. Yeah, I did a real breathy thing. I used this mic over here. It's a Rode K2 if you're into that kind of stuff. But I mean, like, I could have done it with anything. I could have done it with this mic and it would have probably been indistinguishable to most ears. Let's look at what I'm doing. Let's break down the vocal processing just like old times. In old production videos, I'd always spend too long talking about vocals. It's the most common type of production question I get is like, how to do vocals or how do I do my vocals? So, let's talk about it for a second. Talking away. I've already pointed out, that we want to comp our vocals. We want to do multiple takes and pulling the best sections of each take into one, master take. That's comping. This is my effects chain here. To start us off, we got a very typical vocal presence boosting EQ here. We're taking out the like subs, we're keeping some bass in there. Here we got our mids here, and then we boost the treble here for that presence. I want it to feel like I'm right up in your ear, like inside you. A separate instance of EQ here. It's not like everything I do makes sense. I don't know if I've said this yet, but like I don't like know what I'm doing all the time in the long drawn out slog of fine tuning this mix. Probably around that point is when I slapped this second EQ on here, because something I was hearing in the full mix was telling me we needed to take some low mids out and some more sub, I guess, and some high. It's not very scientific. I'm making changes and listening to what happens when I do a thing. And, I was playing the song back in my ears and messing with this EQ, and I wound up with this. Then we've got here's Effect Rack. This is a series of Sound Toys plugins. Sound Toys is a audio company that makes a bunch of great plugins, great effects. You don't need all this stuff for the record. If you're watching this, it's a good chance like you're newish to production or starting out. I don't want you to get the impression that like you need to spend a bunch of money on all these weird plugins to do stuff. Like, frankly, there's not much that you can't do with like the plugins that come with the DAW that you're using, the digital audio workstation. Usually, I mean, I don't know. I'm not super up to date. Ableton is pretty bare bones. Maybe Ableton, they kind of wring you dry. I'm really digressing here. This is just another preset. This is just dirtying up the vocals a little bit. It's adding some flavor to it. Let's A/B this Effect Rack rock lead vocal preset and hear what it's doing. Say it anyway. It's off. Today's another day. It's on. Find you shying away. It's off. Oh, I'll be coming for your love, okay. So it's obviously making it louder. It's adding a little bit of distortion. And we got Echo Boy. There's a very subtle echo, a little bit of delay. A little bit of delay. Almost like a slap delay. Something that you might hear live in like a smallish club or something. I've always liked that sort of live feeling delay on my vocals. This limiter, which is actually a compressor, is taking a little bit more off of the top. I got a chorus effect on here, which actually only comes on for the chorus. I'm automating the mix level on this with an automation track. So it kicks on right here before the chorus. Take on me. Chorus effect on the chorus. Maximus here. This is a multi-band compressor, but it's de-essing it, meaning it's taking out the harsh sibilant noises. It's scraping off the worst of that from my vocals, but without affecting the crispness of the entire vocal. And what this is doing is basically only turning on when a certain bandwidth of frequency in my vocals, which is represented by this orange space here between like 4K and 12K. Whenever this frequency range surpasses this volume, this frequency range, just this part of my vocals gets compressed. So it keeps this slice of my vocal frequency from getting too loud. I'm soloing just the part that it's targeting here. So you're going to hear the S's really jump out. This line basically represents the compression on the vocal. It's a visual representation of the compressor. And then there's a final EQ here. This final EQ with vocals, there's always like some spots, though at least when I record vocals, there are always some resonant frequencies that kind of hurt the ears in certain spots. So this is what we're left with after I go through and find those resonant frequencies and bring them down. If I, max this out, very spiky little boost here, and I sweep it through the vocal while it's playing. Talking away. I don't know what I'm gonna say, you'll say it anyway. You may notice like there's some spots there while I was sweeping it that kind of pop a little bit. This is just a last ditch effort to sort of normalize the vocal. So anyway, that's what all this shit is doing. And then finally, the lead vocal here, which I'm just gonna name right now, lead vocal, is going to this bus here, which this only exists because there are multiple vocal tracks. I have background vocals and harmonies and stuff, and I wanted them all to go to one mixer track. So that's why the vocal bus here exists. It all comes here so it can get compressed as one congealed vocal, the lead vocal and the background vocals. I wanted them all together to get processed together at some point because that just kind of glues them together a little bit in the sonic landscape. Hope that makes sense. That's my vocal effects chain. The only thing I haven't talked about is vocal tuning, like pitch correction, which I did, after I comped it. To compare, I left my raw vocal in here specifically so you can hear it. So this is the pitched version. I don't know what I'm gonna say, you'll say it anyway. And this is the unpitch corrected vocal. I don't know what I'm gonna say, you'll say it anyway. That's pretty rough. Day to find you shying away. It's tough. You just can't really compete with the immaculate, roboticized sound of pitch corrected vocals. I'm not a terrible singer. Listen, I'm not pitch perfect, but I'm not tone deaf. Objectively, I can hear when I'm off pitch. If you can tell when you're off pitch, you're not tone deaf. You just need to practice singing more. That's really all it comes down to. Or just focus on the tone of your vocals and pitch correct if you're only concerned with recording, which is all I was concerned about when I was doing this. I didn't practice singing this for weeks in advance. I think I just started working on it when I decided to do this remix, and I just did it the day up or the next day. The easiest thing to fix is a little bit of pitchiness. If you're even in the ballpark, pitch correction software can get you right on pitch, and really can't hear it if you know how to use the software. Let's A-B one more time.
Today's another day to find you shying away.
That's the pitch corrected, and this is the original.
Today's another day to find you shying away.
I'm a little flat. It's a little flat, and that tends to happen when you try and sing real relaxed and sleepy. And I probably was sleepy when I did this. I probably just woke up. Let's get back into the fucking song. Back to the top of the verse.
Talking away, I don't know what I'm gonna say, you'll say it anyway.
These right here are just some little variations in the drum loop that I wanted to throw in there. I got a little fill here that I put together. That's a little super quiet ride right here. Because, you know, this song is too gentle for a crash. So in lieu of a crash, I put a little ride there and this little bit of open hi-hat stuff.
You'll say it anyway. Today's another day to find you shying.
You know. We got another vocally sounding synth patch here. It's arpeggio bullshit. And I think this like arpeggio, this underlying thing here is from the original. Like I think it's in the original song. So I may have just copied that, but you know, use a silly patch for it. It's pretty bare bones here. Just that and these pads here. It's more saw waves with a super long decay with a cutoff filter on it. A little bed of chords upon which this froggy arpeggio rests.
Shying away. Oh, I'll be coming for your love, okay.
This right here, I put this little noise. This is actually doing a lot more than I thought it was.
Oh, I'll be coming.
You hear that little squeaky.
Oh, I'll be coming.
Just the faintest squeak there. It's one of my favorite synth patches of all time. I've been using it for a decade now. It's this Image Line synth, which is the company that makes FL Studio, called Sakura. Honestly, I don't even like this synth very much, but I love this one patch, which weirdly, okay, I'm looking at the plugin right now and it seems to be like kind of fucking broken. If you listen to much Kytoon, you might recognize this patch. If you don't recognize it, you've heard it because I use it all the fucking time. Next time you listen to anything from me, you know, maybe like a little Easter egg hunt, keep your ears peeled and you'll notice something that kind of sounds like this. I especially like using this patch with a really slow bend. I can say like off the top of my head, a song where I use it pretty prominently is my song Superpowers.
Into the sea.
That's what I think about that. Now we're finally at the chorus. Going into a chorus, you gotta bring things up. With pop music, if you're going into a chorus, almost without exception, like something's getting louder. A couple things turn on that bring the vocals up in volume.
Take on me.
As we established earlier, we go from, you know, no chorus effect to chorus effect. And we got this harmony here bringing things up a little bit more too.
Take on me.
Harmonies are the bee's knees. When I'm recording vocal harmonies, I'm not being a fraction as precious about it as I am with my lead vocal because they're background vocals. They're not really meant to be heard. They're there to like support the lead vocal, at least the way I use them, if that makes sense. So
Take on me.
you got that, and then the
Take on me. Take.
little take on me's. Of course, the iconic take on me's, which is just 3 takes that I did synced up.
Take on me.
You can see the way they're panned here. Like this top one's panned a little bit to the left, 20%. The second one's panned 20% to the right. And this is center. So just having the 3 different takes kind of makes it feel a little bigger. It's ironic that I use that word because they're really restrained.
Take on me.
They're pretty quiet in the mix. There's a big reverb plug on it that's drenching them in reverb. And you know what happens when you drench something in reverb? It sounds distant. Essentially, reverb that doesn't have delay on it. If I added delay to the reverb, then they wouldn't sound far away. They'd sound up close with a lot of space behind them. Like, let's turn some delay on this reverb.
Take on me. Take.
That's crazy sounding. That sounds ridiculous, but
Take on me.
that's all the difference. When you turn the delay all the way down,
Take on me.
they sound a little bit farther away. They're kind of in the back of the room. I don't want anything competing with the lead vocal. I'm not going to argue with anybody who says like, well, for this genre, like, or for the style of music I make, like, maybe I don't want the vocal to be super clear. And like, sometimes maybe you don't. That's fine. Like, it's all personal preference, but I like my vocal to be super clear. I want you to be able to hear what I'm saying without having to look at a lyric sheet. That's what I like. That's why these background vocals, these take on me's get sopped in reverb because it pulls them back to make room for my lead vocal. So that's what's going on. I don't know what this harmony's doing. Let's listen.
Take on me. Take on me. Take me on.
It goes from its own mixer track where it gets spread. This spreader plugin spreads it. It's this stereo effect where it separates the left and right channels so they're like slightly staggered, which makes the stereo image feel super wide. So that's what's happening here.
Take on me. Take on me.
Pretty true to the original version of this song. The beat kind of turns into this very straightforward sort of Tom Petty type, like, bump, 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 bump. And I got the guitar behind the bass, just sort of miming it. They're doing that in parallel. Sounds kind of punky when I solo it. And then I got this, just one of my synth things. This plucky saw is doing the same thing, layering synths with guitar. That's a staple Kytoon thing to do. I'm always goobing. And then again, pretty reserved. We just got our milky, vaporous pads with some twinkly bells over it. One of these is this. By itself, this sounds so cheesy to me. It sounds like 2010, or 2008 trance or like house music. And I don't really mean that in a positive way, but it's pretty striking. I like to pick sounds that you don't hear a ton, or that I'm not hearing a ton at least, in popular music, the music I'm listening to. I want sounds that just are being overlooked. Let's power through the chorus. Switch into this like halftime kind of dope. Why am I saying it's dope? This like halftime shuffly drum beat. We got a nice little synth chord sweep here. It's little touches like that. If you're producing in a DAW like this where everything's on a grid, you want to make sure to pull some stuff out of the pocket here and there, just to give it some character, This is very high for me if you can't tell. I think this is like probably the highest note that I've ever like sung on a recording.
Needless to say, I'm odds and ends, but I'll be stumbling away. Slowly learning that life is okay.
These are these wacky, silly, funny synth flutes. when you listen to them in isolation, I'm sure it's not hard to tell. You probably didn't even think they were real to begin with, but I think this flute thing is like my favorite thing that I did on this track. Like my favorite Kaitun stamp. I just love this little fucking flute thing. I used an obsolete dead synth. Like it's literally dead. Like the company that made it doesn't exist anymore. It's called Zeta. I've been using FL Studio for so long. I've been producing electronic music for so long. Like synths that I like to use have come and gone, and this is one of them. It's so janky, like I had to delete it. I feel like my forte is melodies. Always felt that way, and I can always come up with more melodies to add to something. So when I'm doing the rounds on a track and I do a pass and I feel like it needs a little something else, like my first thing that I always want to do is add another little melody, and it gets out of control really fast. If you got too many melodies, it just starts to sound like chaotic, crap. Like it sounds amateur. This is verse 2. Whenever I'm doing the second verse of a song, I always add something. I just think you kind of got to do that. I always add something in the second verse, usually another synth, another little auxiliary melody. And so in this case, I got a couple things doing that. The flutes, obviously, our beloved flutes, and these little dwangles here, a clip I've titled Verse Smush. Number 2, I don't know what number 1 is. It's just that, some more little plucky notes to just sprinkle in there to kind of whisk us through this verse.
Slowly learning that life is okay. Say after me, it's no better to be safe than sorry.
That Sakura synth comes back. The one that we just got a little taste of. Oh, that's Verse Smush. There's the original, I guess. That's that shit that I like.
It's no better to be safe than sorry.
Got a little bass glissando here. There we are. Chorus comes back, but the flute stuff is still going. So this second chorus has the added twist of some flute stuff to distinguish it from a copy paste of the first. Another thing that I did, and it's easy to not do this, and a lot of times I don't. I think just in music in general, copy pasting choruses is not a controversial thing to do. But for this song, each chorus, I'm pretty sure my vocals are unique takes each time, which means this isn't just the first chorus vocal copied and pasted. This is me singing the second chorus. And I did that because, at this point in the song, we got a little more energy than we did the first time, a little more momentum. So I'm singing it a little bit differently than I was the first time, a little bit more gusto. We're getting into the spooky bridge section. This is going good. This is going great. I'm sure in the video, it's maybe 30 minutes or so, but behind the scenes, I've been recording for an hour and 40 minutes at this point. That's the mark that I'm at in real time. So, do with that what you will. So we finally arrived to the bridge. I took a slightly different approach to this than the original version does, but I kept the spookiness of it. I kept the same chords. I've always found the bridge the weakest part of this song. I am notoriously critical of bridges. I think most bridges are terrible. I feel like so many songs have bridges that just feel compulsory, perfunctory bridges. We should probably throw a bridge in here before we repeat the chorus 2 more times. I feel like a lot of songwriters will just use a bridge as a device to just enable them to prolong a song so they can repeat the chorus more times. And I feel like if your bridge isn't the emotional apex of the song, I feel like if it isn't the peak of what your song is about, you're just not going to catch me phoning in a bridge. I'm going to do no bridge before I phone in a bridge. It's so much better to not do a bridge at all than do a half-assed bridge. And nobody else seems to feel that way, and it drives me insane. That said, I think the bridge of this song is weird, and I've never loved it. It makes more sense than the music video as like the score to this amazing short film that is the music video. Like, it makes more sense there, but just listening to it like in your car, like, it's weird and feels kind of disjointed. But anyway, I decided to make my version even more disjointed, and it goes into this like Bowser-esque, like heavy guitar realm. And we got, from our intro, if you recall, our beefy baritone boy, he comes back with his "aww." I can barely go that deep. I need an artificial boy to do it for me. And it's got this very sinister, spooky vibe. Bowser rolls in his dark storm cloud with his electric guitar, and he's shredding. He's here to rain on our fucking parade. But then our hero steps up to the challenge, and then we're back to the melody. We lose the plot for a second here, but then we're right back into it. When you're not taking things too seriously, it's a fun diversion. So I had a little fun with it. In classic Kite Tune fashion, I have a synth layer that is doubling the electric guitar here. It's a very like Sega sounding synth patch. I actually really like it. It's just under there. It's not super noticeable. Frankly, nobody appreciates me. Frankly, I do a whole lot of stuff that nobody gives me credit. Nobody wants to give me credit, but I do it better. Well, that's good. Well, that's good stuff. And then anyway, yeah, okay, we come out of that spooky section, We're back here. My favorite part of the song. And let me point out, like, I'm comping my electric guitar just like my vocals. You can comp anything that you record. This is a compilation of a few different guitar takes. And in fact, like, some things, like this little scrape here, it's two different takes. That's not one motion. There's the scrape, and then there's this harmonic slide. So like, those I recorded separately, and I combined them to make it sound like I'm a better guitarist than I am. That's the magic of being a self-producing guitarist. Just a little behind the scenes action. Again, I only want to encourage with this type of video. Like, if you're watching this, I'm gonna assume you're interested in doing this type of stuff. I wanted to like dispel any barriers to entry or like insane like rare talent that you may think you need to have. I am like a decent guitar player. I do not think I'm an exceptional guitarist, at least not with like this type of stuff. I have my niches where I feel pretty confident. Like, if I play this live, this moment right here, something that I'm gonna have to practice a fair amount to get right so I can like consistently, reliably do it. The reason this is all chopped up is because I actually wanted to sort of like quantize this solo so it is perfectly, because the solo is doubling a synth lead, like I wanted it like right on each beat, so it is like perfectly in sync with these MIDI notes. So that's why it's all chopped up like this. Like, I manually placed each note of the guitar solo to get it super, super in the pocket. And the reason you're not hearing it like stuttering and everything is because the signal I recorded from my guitar was clean. So all the effects are added in post. When I turn off all the effects, That's the dry guitar signal. Pretty puny stuff, but when we throw a guitar rig on it, which is, big fancy Native Instruments, guitar VST, guitar effects VST, we get the whole enchilada. This is the biggest moment of the song here. Like, literally, this is the apex of the song, at least the way I see it. It is literally the loudest part of the song. I wanted to blast you so hard with this melody, just as if to scream to you, this is it. This is what the song is. It's this melody. Because to me, it is. I don't know what it is. It's just this sequence of notes. It makes me go goo goo gaga. It turns me into a dunderhead. So I took these 4 bars to just scream it and throw it in your face. We have so many layers playing this melody. We have the clean guitar, the lead guitar, and then a whole medley of synths. And when you put it together, it's a big moment. I love this moment. Anyway, let's get into verse 3.
Things that you say, is it life or just to play my worries away? Yeah, all the things I've got to remember.
Verse 3, with the exception of the vocals, it's pretty much a repeat of verse 2 without the flutes, with one little twist here, and that's this little melody here. The got to remember.
I've got to remember.
I've got Sakura doing that little gesture.
Shying away. Oh, I'll be coming for you anyway.
A little fill here that gives us some gas when we get into this final chorus.
Take on me. Take on me. Take me on. Take on me.
The only special thing about this third chorus,
Take on me.
we get a little more sparkly synth stuff. The synths are a little more excited. In the middle of these take on me's, we get this new melody. I came up with this little melodic thing early on and was trying it in the earlier verses and wasn't liking it, so I discarded it. I have a graveyard of discarded ideas anytime I make a song, and this was one of them, but I think I decided to bring it back for the final chorus just to make it a little special. I do a little drum fill here to really nail that last word. Day! The highest note of the song. This last line is super impactful, and I just want to go out with a little bang, want to draw some attention to it, so we got this. Finally, on our way out, I couldn't help but add some Sonic the Hedgehog style ripping guitar, just a little bit, not too much. It feels very Sonic the Hedgehog, I'm aware of that, but I don't give a shit. I like it, and if what I like sounds like it belongs in a Sonic game, then that's just the way it is. I'm gonna do what I want, and what I wanted to do was to add some righteous guitar here at the end of the song, just to really say, fuck yeah, this is cool. We're doing a cool thing here. This is a cool song, and I'm a cool guy because I play ripping guitar solos. I play guitar with distortion on it, which is a very cool thing to do. It's in the Bible. And that's the whole song. I've let this go on long enough. I really think I've talked this thing to death. Honestly, that's my take on Take On Me. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you learned some stuff. If you somehow have any questions about this song or just in general that I didn't answer, hey, let me know. If you liked this video, let me know, because like I could use some encouragement to do more of these. I want to do more of these, and like I plan to regardless, but like I get distracted very easily and life happens and it gets swept up in other bullshit. If you tell me that you like this and want more, then it will exponentially speed up the timeline. If for some godforsaken reason you're still watching this, leave a comment and let me know. I'd love to know that you've gotten to this point in the video. So I've said enough. Some may say I've said too much. Fair, but I will say no more. This is your boy. This is Michael signing off. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you hopefully in the next one.